Okay, hold on. How about now? Can you guys hear me now? How about now? Let me know if you can hear the sound now. Okay, hold on. There we go. That's got to be some volume there. All right. We got volume. We got volume. All right. So, White Sox and Blue Jays. The question is, can we trust Lucas Giolito? And I don't think the answer is yes right now. I've tried to get on this train where you can't just write off pitchers when they have bad performances, but Gio just hasn't looked the same for a while now. His last time out against Houston, he got rocked. His last time against Texas, he gets rocked. He has a good performance against Tampa Bay, and then right before that gets rocked against Toronto. Ross Stripling, on the other hand, for the Blue Jays, has looked pretty damn good. He's only had a few starts this year, but he's looked absolutely excellent pretty much in all of them. I mean, if you give up 2 runs to the Yankees, that's a pretty good. I mean, they pulled him after 3 2/3, but that's still that. I'm sure they had a plan going into that game, especially with Detroit. 6 innings, no runs. Kansas City, 5 innings, no runs. So he should be pitching with confidence here. I just don't trust Gio right now. I'm well aware of what the last two games have went like for Toronto, but they've scored runs. They've scored 6 and 7 runs the last 2 nights. They just haven't won. If you watched the game last night, it was the definition of a coin flip game. The umpire scorecard I was looking at last night was like, I think it was like a 75% like missed call. It was really, you just don't see that very often. So either team could have won. I mean, there was a couple strikeouts on both sides that could have swung the game in either way with an at bat here or there. So I think it's just too cheap of a price for the Blue Jays for me personally. Again, no White Sox for the White Sox. There's going to be no Tim Anderson in the lineup. That doesn't help at all for them. And he's been a really nice cog in the lineup for them the last couple of nights. 2 hits the last 2 nights, and speed on the base pass. It's just not a good spot. I don't think it's as good as a spot for the White Sox as it was before. Toronto's a pretty damn good team. Again, losing 3 in a row at minus 105 or minus 108, it's well worth it for me to take the Blue Jays here in this spot. So, next game up, somebody asked about the Orioles game. I'll get there. Trust me, I'll get there. The Mets and the Astros. Man, Astros come out yesterday and mollywop the Mets, but now the Mets are sending Cookie Carrasco, who's been really good for them this year. I will say that he hasn't looked as well on the road, but at the same time, I don't really put too much stock in that. I do, because he has pitched well. He pitched well at Colorado. He pitched well against San Diego. He just didn't look well against Anaheim. It's going to happen. Doesn't have the best numbers against Houston in his career. We're talking about Cookie Carrasco, but at the same time, I don't think he was pitching the same way. I think he's pitching with a newfound confidence this year for the Mets. That really helps him. Luis Garcia, we call him Rockabye Baby because of his windup. He's been solid. Solid as far as a 4-5 record. Not getting a ton of run support. A couple of the losses, he only gave up 2 runs. But again, just not the same dominating stuff that we know from him from last year. He's never faced the Mets before either. So the Mets aren't the hottest lineup in the world right now, but if I can get the Mets at a plus 118, 115 price, coming off a bad loss with Cookie on the mound, I think that's a good spot. The Astros aren't a team that I trust either. I trust them personally at times, but if we're going on a day-to-day basis, I'm not there yet with this team. It's too much up and down for them. They look shitty against Miami. They looked decent against Texas. They looked decent at times against the White Sox. They look bad at times against the White Sox. It's just a lot of up and down for the Astros for me. So if I can get a team like the Mets coming off a bad loss and they are playing everybody, taking a look at the lineup. So everybody should be playing for them as well. I'm taking a small stab with the Mets at plus money here. Rangers, man, I part of it was I knew that the Phillies were going to be without Bryce Harper. Well, they're back. He's back today. He did have a small blister on his hand. Supposedly, I listen to like radio talk from other cities with big cities, especially if I need information on something. They were saying that that blister that he had on his hand might be a little bit infected. Obviously, it's not because he's playing today. So maybe that was just some conjecture. I don't know, but Philly's still playing decent. Obviously, the air's been let out of the balloon since the winning streak and whatnot. They have lost 2 in a row, but again, it wasn't the best spot. I mean, it was the 4th or the 5th game in Washington. They had already beat them 4 times. They lost in that one, and then traveling on the road, the first game on the road trip or on the West Coast road trip, against Texas, with no Harper against Martin Perez, who had gotten lit up his last couple starts. Well, 2 starts ago, but looked really good his last time out. It was a bad spot for the Phillies, but now they have Zach Wheeler on the mound, who's been just a freaking stud for them. He's one of the guys I trust. John Gray, on the other hand, is actually sneaky good. He actually has been really good for the Rangers this year. Last 4 or 5 starts, really good. Detroit, Chicago, Tampa Bay, all very good starts. Cleveland touched him around a little bit. Oakland touched him around a little bit. That was a little bit weird. But the Phillies have already seen him. They've seen Wheeler too, but I don't worry about that as much from the Phillies side as far as with the Rangers seeing Wheeler, just because I do think that the Phillies are a much better team. And as far as John Gray's concerned, again, he's looked good. A lot of the starts have been on the road, so I'm sure it's going to be nice for him to pitch at home again. I just think it's a little too much for the Phillies. I took the Phillies in the first 5, minus 0.5. It should be like minus 105 or what have you. I don't want to deal with the bullpen. The Phillies bullpen isn't as bad is what it has been, but I just don't want to be involved in the full game with this. And the Rangers' bats are kind of sneaky. They can score runs at plenty of time, so I really just don't want to be involved with that. I'll isolate Wheeler in that first 5 and take my chances. But yeah, I think it's a little bit too cheap for the Phillies right there in that spot. That's the best part about baseball, Andrew. I don't have to pick who's winning. I can play first 5 and deal with it. That's just kind of how it works, bro. I don't know who's going to win that game. I would say the Phillies if I had to, but again, that's the beauty of betting baseball is that I can bet a first 5. I don't have to worry about it. Next game up, Arizona and the Padres. A couple really good games from these 2 teams. Unless you're a baseball guy, probably not. It was 2-3 and 1-4. But last night, the Padres won in 11 innings in extras. Obviously, they're out with Jorge Alfaro is the one who hit the shot, but Manny Machado is injured, so he's not in the lineup. So you're going to get a little bit of a watered-down Padres lineup. Coming home, obviously, like I said, they've won 2 in a row. The question is going to be how well Clevenger pitches. He's already coming back from a big injury. I was just going to say he hasn't been the same we all know and love, but we all know that. Pretty decent hitting teams. 11 total innings, only 3 runs. He's not striking out a whole bunch of people, but he's not walking a whole bunch of people either. I actually think there's some value here with the Snakes. They've played them very close, and if Clevenger's not on his game, the Snakes can score runs. So I actually took the Snakes plus a half a run in the first 5 for plus 100. That's just kind of what I like. That's the spot that I like. Again, it's just not – I just don't want to get involved with the bullpens or whatever, but I feel like this could be a very close game, and I'll take that extra half a run at plus money. I'm sorry about the lag, guys. I'm not sure why that's happening. I don't have any other things open or nothing. So the Dodgers and the Reds, that's the next one that's up. Man, the Dodgers just absolutely smashed last night. That was kind of fun to watch, having me and the Dodgers better. Like I said, you can't think that the Dodgers are just going to be horrible forever. When they're 1 for 20 or 2 for 22 or whatever the thing is, the stats are with runners in scoring position. Yeah, it's a stat, but at the same time, it's not going to last. Last night they showed it. They scored another 8 runs. And I just think that it's hard not to like the Dodgers here. I understand that Tyler Anderson didn't look great against Chicago, but he came back and pitched fantastic against the Angels. Again, Angels not the best team, but he had a no-hitter going through till the eighth or ninth, or that the ninth of that inning, and he gave it up to Ohtani that he ripped one. So. I just think that you play the Dodgers how you play the Dodgers -1.5, guys. If you're new to this channel or new to betting baseball, the Dodgers win by 2 runs or they lose outright. Don't play a dog against the Dodgers minus or +1.5. You play them outright on the money line. Out of the 40 wins or whatever the Dodgers have, let's take a look at how many they have. 41 wins. 3 of those wins have not been by 2 runs or more. So 3 times they haven't won by 2 runs or less. It's just when they win by 2, and when they lose outright. So for me, it's the Dodgers here -1.5. I'm going to continue to play it. Tyler Anderson is just like Tony G for me. He just keeps on winning games, and there's no reason for me to go on the other side of this. I know that Sauce and AJ like the Reds in the first 5. Good luck. I'm not a Castillo guy. They are right. He's not bad. I think that he's going to be a really good trade piece, and he's going to be probably good on another team. But he's not a guy that I trust at the moment. He looked really good. I'll tell you right now, he has a really good performance. His last time against the Dodgers, six innings, 10 strikeouts, 2 walks, no earned runs. It looked really good, really, really good. But again, it's the Dodgers. It's Tyler Anderson, who's 8-0 on the year. And again, I talk about records don't mean a lot to me, but when you're 8-0, you're pitching fucking pretty well. And again, if you look at all those numbers, it's Dodgers or pass for me, guys. But like I said, don't play the Reds +1.5 or anything like that. Or anytime you're playing the Dodgers, you play them -1.5, or you play the other side outright. It's very simple. It never changes. Rockies and Marlins. Oh, boy. I think the dogs are barking here, guys. This is a pretty big price on the Rockies, who are playing pretty freaking good baseball, right? Runs or more in 4 of their last 5 games. So obviously they're hitting the ball really well. They don't hit righties as much as they hit lefties, but I was on the phone last night with Sauce, and I was like, yeah, he pitched well his last time out. He did pitch well against Houston, but his last time out against the Mets, he got rocked. And the time before Houston against the Giants, he kind of got rocked. And against the Rays, who we know is not the best hitting team, I know they had some other guys back then, but he kind of got rocked. So this whole idea that Pablo Lopez is pitching fantastic is not there for me. So Chad Kuhl, on the other hand, actually has decent numbers. If you take a look at like who he's pitching against Cleveland, he looked pretty decent and went 5 innings, not going super deep into games. But he had 1 bad game against the Padres. He had a couple bad games against the Giants. But besides that, Atlanta, Washington, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, all very, very solid performances. 2 runs or less, 5 innings or more. I'm taking the Rockies here. I'm taking them on the money line. I don't have the odds pulled up in front of me. I got too much stuff going on. But I think I like them in the first 5, and I think I like them on the money line as well. So I'm definitely I want no business in the fish today, especially after that come-from-behind win yesterday. And again, the Fish just don't really seem to win 2 games in a row very often. And that's not part of the handicap. That's just me talking out loud. But, yeah. It's just not. I like this spot at a big plus price for the Rocks. Yeah, it's definitely Rockies or pass for me. Nats and Orioles. And yeah, absolutely. Go watch Kyle's video on the Rockies and Marlins. He breaks it down way, way more than I do. I'm just running through every game, most of these games here, or if not every game. So it's an airplane view, essentially. Nats Nats and Birds, Baltimore and Washington. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm going to play Baltimore again. They screwed me yesterday. I just don't see them not scoring runs. They've been scoring runs the last couple games before that. 2-6-1, 10-6-6, 1-10-6 in runs scored. Patrick Corbin, on the other hand, for the Nats, just not a guy that I can trust. He has horrible numbers against Baltimore. Both times he faced him last year. Well, his last 3 times he's faced him, he hasn't went longer than the 5th inning, and he's given up 5 runs once and twice. 5 runs twice, 4 runs once. So not the best numbers for Patrick Corbin. And then Tyler Wells for the Birds. There's a reason that they're priced this high, man. This kid's been pretty damn good for them. He's 4-4 on the year, but he takes a loss against the Yankees, and they only have 2 hits. They only scored 2 runs. He has a no decision against Cleveland where he only gives up 2 runs. Again, I just think that it's just a spot where the Orioles offense, I know that this sounds weird, but I kind of trust them. At this point in the season, guys, they're 30. I mean, we're 69 games into, and they have 30 wins. I don't think they had 30 wins last year till like the All-Star break or something. So I think there's something to be said with the kids in their lineup and how they're playing well. I like to give some of the guys credit that are playing well. A couple guys that you guys need to know. Anthony Santander for the Orioles, stud. I don't know if he probably won't get traded or anything, but Anthony Santander is very good. Cedric Mullins is another one, leadoff guy. Trey Mancini, Ryan Mountcastle. They got guys in that lineup. Addison Rushman, I said his name wrong, but the catcher, he's a kid that's coming up that's playing well. There's a lot of things to like in Baltimore. It's the Orioles or pass for me. I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to be playing them first 5 minus 0.5. I don't trust Corbin up there, and I'll probably be playing them on the money line in a way. I might be throwing them in a parlay or something like that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'd have to see all the lines up for me. But it's Orioles or pass for me here. Next game up. I don't see the pitcher for the Pirates, so I'm going to skip that game. I'm just going to go to the game that more people are going to want to talk about. Red Sox, Tigers. The Tigers covered for us 4 runs yesterday, baby. Hell yeah. They took it to the 9th inning, but they got the job. I'm going to roll now to Boston. Boston's just playing really good baseball right now. 7-3 their last 10. And now they send Michael Wacha to the mound, who's been a fucking stud for them. I mean, I'm sorry for the language, but I didn't expect anything like this from Michael Wacha this year, and he's just really been almost lights out at times. I don't really like talking about ERA, but he's got a 2.28 ERA per 9 innings pitched. That's very good and very low. And at least when you have EA per 9 innings pitched, it gives you a little bit better indication of what's going on. Looks really good against St. Louis, really good against LA, Cincinnati, all that stuff. Seattle, they hit him for 3 runs again, but it wasn't that bad. That was after Seattle. I mean, Seattle really needed to win there. The only thing that sucks about, I really want to play Boston today, and I haven't made a decision yet, is Tariq Skubal's on the mound for the Tigers. And Tariq Skubal is one of those guys that he has not looked good his last 3 starts. I can tell you that right now. But he has very, very good stuff. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. I think it's probably hard to always pitch from behind. But, again, he hasn't pitched like he has to begin the year and like the talent that he has. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or what have you, but 5 runs in 5 innings against Texas, 4 runs in 4 innings against Toronto, Against Pittsburgh, he went 7 innings, but he still gave up 3 runs. He did strike out 9 and didn't walk anybody. But that's another concern if we take bringing Skubal up, his walks. A guy that usually has pinpoint control, 2 walks his last 2 starts, in each of the last 2 starts. So that's a concern as well. I think it's so hard for me. I do. You're right, Kyle. I love Tariq Skubal. But he has not been pitching well at all, and that's what's bothering me. It's just really hard. It's the Sox are playing really, really well right now. I haven't made a decision in this game. I really wanted to play the Tigers because they have been playing better baseball with Skubal on now. Finally, with Skubal on the mound, with Riley Green in the lineup. I don't know. I think it's probably too cheap of a price on Boston, but man, it's making me think about it. It's for sure. I haven't made a decision here on this one. I'll tell you guys that for sure. Yeah, it's just really hard for me to get to the window. I love Skubal. That's part of the reason why. Yankees and Rays. Another one. Hell of a game yesterday. I mean, Paredes with 3 dingers. I mean, whatever, I guess. I mean, honestly, that guy's not even a full-time major leaguer, and he hits 3 home runs. I mean, sometimes that's just what happens in baseball, and whatever, it happens. Like, I could really care less about it. Monty's on the bump today for the Yankees, and he's like the model of consistency. He's going to give you 6 or 7 innings. He's going to give up 2 runs, and you're going to be in the ballgame. It's Yankees or pass for me. I'm not going to sit here and try to poke holes in the Yankees right now. Judge had the day off yesterday and his one at bat in the 9th inning. He almost took a yard. Shane Baz is a guy that I like. He should be a pretty good pitcher, but again, against this Yankees lineup, I'm just not really impressed with him right now. He got lit up against Minnesota. He did look good against Baltimore. I'm sure it'll be nice for him. His last 3 starts have been on the road. But again, it's just really hard to get behind. I can get behind Baz. I can't get behind the Rays offense. So the fact that they scored 5 runs yesterday, I have a hard time believing they do it again today. I think that we see Yankees flex their muscles. Monty pitches good, gives it over the bullpen, and the Yankees win this game pretty easy. It's Yankees or pass for me, guys. There's nothing I can do to get behind Tampa Bay, especially with all the injuries. Kiermaier is going to be out again as well. It's just not a good spot for the Rays right now. Yeah, I did do the Astros and the Mets. I took the Mets like a half unit money line bet. Nothing crazy big, but yeah, the Mets. Another good game that I'm actually really excited for because I like the dog. Giants Braves. If you're going to give me Carlos Rendon at plus 125, I'm probably going to take it. Listen, first of all, I was all over the Giants the last couple nights. I still think they should have won Monday. The Braves got pretty freaking lucky to win that. If we have any Braves fans in here, you goddamn know you were lucky to win that game. Because if you saw last night, the same shit happened. Your bullpen is trash, and the Giants destroyed them. And that's probably what's going to happen again tonight, guys. I'm all over the Giants tonight. If I lose to Charlie Morton on a Tuesday night or whatever today is, whatever. Charlie Morton is a big game pitcher. I want Charlie Morton in Game 1 of the ALCS or Game 3 of the ALDS. I don't want him on a Wednesday afternoon or a Wednesday night in Atlanta. It's just not the spot that I like him in. He has pitched well his last time out against the Cubs. But besides that, Pittsburgh, Colorado, Arizona, Philadelphia, Miami all lit that ass up for 3 to 4 runs in 5 or less innings. If you flip it over to Carlos Rendon, on the other hand, 8 innings, no runs against Pittsburgh, 6 innings, no runs against LA Dodgers, 4 innings, 2 runs against Colorado, 5 innings, 1 run against Philadelphia. The dude's just shoving right now. The dude is absolutely shoving right now. I'm all over the Giants today. It's just Giants or pass for me. I don't even understand this number. When I talked to Sauce last night, this was at like plus 100. I didn't even think the Giants were going to be plus money today. I don't know what everybody is seeing, but I will gladly take the Giants. And also, if the game, let's just say the game's tied going into later innings, if you're backing the Braves, what gives you confidence that that bullpen's going to shut it down? Like, what have you seen the last 10 games that's going to make you think that? Like, honestly, the Cubs, the Nats, the Pirates, trash teams. But this is the Giants we're talking about, guys. Yo, give me the plus money on the Giants. I don't even care. It's simple for me. Guardians and the Twins. Man, if I bet the Guardians, Tristan McKenzie's gonna pitch like shit. If I bet the Twins, Tristan McKenzie's probably going to pitch good. That's usually what it's like for me. Tristan McKenzie has a shit ton of talent. He's the starting pitcher for the Cleveland Indians. He's kind of like I call him the Andrew Wiggins of the Major League Baseball. And the only reason I say that is because for so before obviously he just but for so have a head case. That's Tristan McKenzie for in the Major League Baseball. The dude has fantastic stuff, but at times he just cannot look good. And you see that if you look in his game logs. 6 innings, 1 run against Colorado, 6 innings, 2 runs against Oakland, and then he goes and faces Baltimore and gives up 5 runs in 7 innings. Again, it's just up and down. It's really hard to get a line on him. I do think that he's better. It's just better than Sonny Gray, but I think that we have to give Sonny Gray some respect here. He has pitched really well. I didn't expect him to pitch well in Seattle. He went 5 scoreless. I'm pretty sure I lost that bet. Actually, no, he had a no decision, so I think Seattle came back and won. But it's really hard for me not to like Cleveland here. I can tell you right now, I don't know if I'm going to I'd be laying such a huge price with the Twins. Yeah, I really liked Cleveland yesterday. I couldn't get there with the numbers, and I'm just kicking myself for doing that. I just don't want to jump on late. But Cleveland is really good, you guys. They just keep on winning games. This line is kind of disrespectful. Cleveland does all the little things right. They score runs, but when they get on base, they steal. They go first to third on a base hit if you're at first. They do all the little things to make it seem good, and that's why they're winning games. And you saw that yesterday. They went up early, good situational hitting. They went down, they came back, and they won. It's you have to beat Cleveland. They're not going to beat themselves, and some teams struggle with that. I'm not there with Minnesota yet, and I'm definitely not laying a minus 165 price with them. Yeah, they're going to have to show me they beat Cleveland. Again, I don't know if I'm going to bet Cleveland. It might end up being a pass, but it's Cleveland or pass for me in this game. Yeah, it's just, again, Sonny Gray's been fantastic. I get all that. This is not me. This isn't a thing against Sonny Gray. This is just, I truly believe that is kind of like I was talking about the Twins a couple of weeks ago. They're a little bit undervalued when Correa and Buxton are in the lineup. Well, I also think that this team – I also think that the Guardians are a little bit undervalued here too. So just something to pay attention to with that Guardians team. Yeah, they're a lot better than you would think. A lot better than you would think. Let's see here. I think we got Cardinals and the Brewers next. Yo, that was fun yesterday. Not only did we have the Cardinals first 5 minus 0.5 and the Cardinals money line, 2-2 going into like the 3rd or 4th inning, and my Dinger Tuesday bet, Nolan Gorman, woo, Yabo, out of here. He ended up going on. He had a fucking crazy game. You think? Yeah, like 5 or 6 RBI. I don't know if we can trust Adam Wainwright. He had against Milwaukee. He's the guy that I thought that might be one of the guys that we could trust. I think I like him at home. Obviously, probably much better. His last time out against Boston, gave up 4 runs on 6 1/3. Not walking a lot of guys, and his strikeouts are up there, but I don't know. It's kind of hard. The question is can Eric Lauer bounce back? Because if Eric Lauer pitches like he's pitched most of the year, this is a very, very cheap price on the Brewers. But if he pitches like Eric Lauer pitches like he's pitching the last two games, it's going to be a very long game for the Brewers. So his last 2 games, although on the road, 6 innings, 6 1/3 against Cincinnati, 4 runs, 5 innings, 8 runs against the Nats. So he's had 2 back-to-back bad performances. I think this is like Brewers play of the day type of territory. Anytime I get a guy like Lauer coming off of 2 bad starts, when I think that he's much better than that, I'm going to take that. He has good history against St. Louis. And then with Wainwright, I think that you're always kind of – obviously you're not paying a premium because you're not laying juice with here, but I think that the numbers are a little bit off with Wainwright. So I think that we're actually getting the Brewers at a really cheap price here. Not sure the status on Hader yet. I know he had his baby, but I don't know if anybody wants to tell me in the chat about Hader. But I'm pretty sure he's got to be back sooner or later. But regardless if Hader's in or not, it's going to end up being Brewers or pass for me. I just cannot try. I think that Lauer should be able to pitch well today, especially coming off 2 bad starts. Yeah, I said that, Sauce. I said that. Mariners Athletics. This one is kind of one of the ones where I think that you kind of have to keep on playing Seattle, especially after yesterday's 8-run performance. The only issue is that Paul Blackburn is pretty damn good. The good thing is that when he pitches in Seattle, which they're not, he pitches well. When he pitches against Seattle in Oakland, not so much. Not horrible numbers, but he's when he's in Seattle, he's coming off 2 very, very good performances against Boston and Cleveland. And he actually had faced Boston just before that, and they touched him up. So he's pitching really good. Paul Blackburn's not a guy I like to fade. So it's one of those things where Oakland has, and Kirby on the other hand for the Mariners, he's one of their top prospects. He can look good. He can look bad at times. Obviously, he's going to has a lot of room to grow or whatnot. Man, it's really hard. It's a nice cheap price on the Mariners, but at the same time, I don't know if I really want to fade Paul Blackburn. So if I had to make a play on this, I would probably lean Mariners, but I'm really not in love with laying -135 against Blackburn. Last night I was okay with it, but man, it's really hard to do that. So my lean is Mariners money line, but again, I have a hard time. It's hard to fade Blackburn right now because he's pitching so damn well. So my lean is the Mariners, but I don't even know if I'm going to play it. I would definitely wouldn't play it first 5. So it's one of those things where I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I got to do a little bit more research into that. And the only reason is part of it is that I don't trust the Mariners. I came into this year thinking that the Mariners were going to be decent. They've dealt with some injuries. But again, they're just too up and down. They shouldn't have lost 4 out of 5 or whatever it was to Anaheim. And so, like I said, I had to play on them yesterday at 1. But again, I don't know if I trust it, especially against Paul Blackburn, who is pretty damn good. Yes, they are irrelevant. Last game of the night was one of my favorite plays last night, but the Lions kind of moved on this. I also didn't expect all the runs, but last night, LA loses again to the Royals, 11-12. just two bad teams scoring runs. It's just ridiculous. Fun to watch, but just fucking ridiculous. Shohei's on the bump. Look, I was trying to bet. I did bet the Angels -1.5. It was plus 100 last night. It's -120 right now. I wouldn't even probably give that out at -120. It's not nearly the same. I don't love it nearly as much. But I do think the Angels smash here tonight. Daniel Lynch has been pretty damn bad all year long. He's actually coming off a really good performance against Oakland. But trust me, Dad. I don't trust the Angels either, bro. I don't really bet them very often. I'm not going to bet them to win, probably. My point is that if you wanted to bet the Angels, I'd do it the first 5 -0.5. I don't have the book where it is, and it probably end up betting the Angels team total as well. I'm well aware how bad the Angels numbers are against left-handed hitting in the last 2 weeks, in the last month. Yeah, they've been playing like crap. There's no doubt about that. So, but again, Daniel Lynch is pretty bad. So if there's one of the guys in the league that can let him score runs, it would be Daniel Lynch. So again, though, I'm kind of priced out of this game, to be honest with you guys. With Ohtani, unless I was getting plus money on the run line, I was good. Sauce is saying our first 5 under 4.5 for that game too. I don't mind that either. Especially after all the run explosion from last night, I could definitely see that as well. Let's just take a look at the weather really quick in all the ballparks. I know yesterday we had a great Dinger Tuesday. Cincinnati's one that's always going to have good weather, plus 24% on the home runs. American Field in Milwaukee, guaranteed rate in Chicago, Angel Stadium in LA, plus 17% or more. So yeah, just a decent good weather. And there's nowhere that really has like horrible weather. Oracle Park says they have like -14 on the home run, but that's just because of the wind and how big the park is. I don't think that's an indication of like bad weather or anything like that. And then we always take a look at the friends on Ballpark Pal. And see who's up there if you guys like home run props. I usually don't play the home run prop unless it's Dinger Tuesday. I usually do more of like a total base props, usually over 1.5 or what have you. But it's actually kind of a mixed bag. Usually they have like one team, or it's noticeable they have a couple guys. This one is pretty spread out. Jake Berger is a guy for the White Sox that's going to be coming up. Nolan Arenado, who I had a home run prop on the other night in Boston. He's hitting the ball well, but again, it's against Eric Lauer. Luke Voigt, Max Kepler, Albert Pujols is on the list. Mike Trout is on the list. Jazz Chisholm is on the list. So, yeah, not really much as far as home run props, and that's part of it. If there's not a lot of matchups you like and stuff, then you pass. That's the beauty of baseball. It's like football season every single day. We get 16, 15 games a day every single day of the week. We're pretty much close to the day of the week. So yeah, but that's it. I think that's it for this one. This is kind of a new thing as far as on YouTube and whatnot. We plan on getting graphics and stuff like that. This is more or less a test run. If not, I'm just lucky enough to be able to do it on Kyle's channel. So for any of you guys that have watched, I appreciate it. My DMs are always open on Twitter if you need me, always. I'm very good at responding to that. And if you want all the premium plays, this isn't like one of those bullshit selling. Everybody knows that we're on the app. Sauce has the app. We're on Twitter and all that stuff. So KyleKerms.com, go check all that stuff out. If anything, it's almost worth it just to be able to look at especially when football season comes up and stuff. There's so many tools on that website. It's almost worth it just to have access to those. So anyway, like I said, my DM's open if you need me, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Sauce, if you get in there, that'd be great.